This is for real.
Oh. Do you mean it this time?
This time I mean it.
Are you coming clean or dirty, my boy?
Whoa. Hey.
2 episodes with some sexiness to it. How you doing, bud?
150, 230 some episodes with some sexiness to it. That's what people are saying.
Nothing but.
No, just kidding. Yeah, honestly, nobody's saying that. If anything, it's the opposite. Of course, hello, welcome to Reminiscent. My name's Pat. That's Tom. And today, I think we're just really excited that, the pandemic, we are scientists, first of all, and I'm here to tell you that the pandemic's over. Just kidding. No.
Please don't say that.
No, exactly. No, of course not. But we felt comfortable enough to buy tickets to see Motion City Soundtrack on their Commit This to Memory, cross out 17th ? Anniversary tour or whatever the hell it is. But they're coming to Charlotte. We both live in North Carolina. So in January, we're going to see them. And a lot of you have been tweeting at us, talk about I Am the Movie, you cowards. And a lot of you are calling us cowards lately. And you know what? It's fitting. So I'm not going to really push back on that too much, to be honest. Anyway, yes, this is, I think, what we're going to do today, Tom. If it's okay with you and everybody who follows us on twitter.com @_reminiscentfm, we're just going to do a straight up Motion City Soundtrack draft to get in the right headspace to see a concert together for the first time in a long time coming up here in January, which is a while away. It's still summer 2021 while we record this. But I think I'm excited, and I'm excited to come up with a new reason to talk about Motion City. But this is the full catalog. Thoughts, fears, hopes, dreams.
Well, I'm not familiar with their full catalog, so that's a fear. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to the show. I haven't been to a show with you.
I just had a peanut butter cracker before we recorded. I just spit all over everything. Thoughts, fears, hopes, dreams.
Was that Mr. Dinkleberry? What was the name from Doug? Was that his name?
Hello, Douglas.
Right. Oh man, I think Doug, the show, turned 30 today, super recently. Anyways, I don't know the full catalog, but the songs and the albums that I do know, I love with all my heart. So I'm stoked for this, but I do want, people to come in with the knowledge that we're posers. I don't know any band's full catalog for the most part.
Yeah, we are the pop punk dorks just acting of absolute fool, ruining the energy in the pit. And the thing about that is we are very excited for this Motion City Soundtrack episode as the pop punk dorks and the Saints. So, yeah, I think we tried to do I always get these mixed up, MCR and MCS.
Right.
For obvious reasons, I guess, as I say it slowly. But yeah, I think My Chemical Romance was doing a reunion tour of sorts, or they played a show in LA before the pandemic, pushed their actual tour back. But we tried to guess the set list, and everyone was just like, what about no, and we were like, that's a fucking valid point. Right. So, but I think what we're going to do here is, like we do with every draft, just pick along with us, tweet @_reminiscentfm, and we're going to go back and forth picking our favorites. And I think you and I each like different albums, and I think we'll get through that. But I'm honestly just straight up excited that over the next few months, I get to just dive fully cannonball right back in, taking the plunge. And I listen to these records probably monthly anyway, but just taking very thoughtful revisits. Just be like, hey, you know what? Let's go back there. You know what I have not done is really I've listened to I Am the Movie while working, but I haven't really been on a walk and let my favorite accident just knock me on my fucking ass in for a few years probably. So I'm ready for the tour that is not about I Am the Movie or my favorite accident. But that is to say, I'm ready for the tour. I'm ready to see live music, fingers crossed and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm just excited.
I haven't been to a show with you since probably 2008, man.
Yeah. Not barely a decade, more than blew past the decade mark. What would that show have been?
It might have been Attack. Were you there? I mean, if it wasn't one of our own, it probably would have been Taking Back Sunday.
I might have been in the building, but Cameron and I might have been in round 7 of our months long 21
Oh, yeah.
second floor basketball thing at that mega church
Youth center.
youth center. Yeah. They were
funny.
probably just like deep into Stickly as we're like sweating and playing horse. Like, oh no, man, that's an S. Like just missed the show. I was probably there, but yeah, so that is all of that is to say that we might not have even attended that show officially together. So maybe longer than we think.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I'm interested because like I got both my Pfizer shots like 2 months ago and I still wear a mask out. I'm still kind of scared. I don't know. We got Chelsea Handler tickets in December. We got Motion City soundtrack tickets in January.
Yeah, I think,
it's hard, dude.
Keep the mask in the car, keep it in the pocket. No one's going to like, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's smart. Again, we are doctors, so take this as medical advice. No, I think like weirdly legally I would have to, even though obviously I hope it's obvious I'm joking, but yeah, no, don't listen to us. We are not. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, as mid-level content creators on a good day, I have to put in the legal disclaimers. What can I say? Hollywood, am I right? And by Hollywood, I mean I'm talking into a closet right now.
Thanks, MeUndies.
Yeah. Yeah. As mid-level content creators, I can confirm Stamps.com has never emailed us.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast.
All of that is to say that we should start picking songs, but I just want to say that, yeah, somebody really got to me when they tweeted, I don't know if it was Destiny or whomever, but, you know, why aren't we talking about early My Chemical, son of a bitch, that's not going to be the last time that happens today. And that's just us not being young anymore. Not that we ever had it, but whatever was there is gone.
It is gone.
And yeah, Motion City, you know, I told the story on the pod a few weeks ago where back before they really popped, they were playing venues like the Hangout in Erie. And I was shadowing someone at Iroquois High School in Erie County, where we grew up. That's in northwestern Pennsylvania on Lake Erie. And they had just straight up seen them, like at this very affordable local show. And they wore the T-shirt the next day, and I happened to sit next to them in an art class. And this older high school student, I was like in 6th or 7th grade at the time, was just like, yeah, this is like what it's like to be an adult. I'm like, that seems amazing. Thanks, adult person, even though they were like, had maybe 2 or 3 years on me or whatever. But I was just very blown away. And then they just recommended Motion City to me. And I was like, all right, I love this. This is the best interaction I've ever had with anybody. And it's not even close. So yeah, I think I, you know, leafed through that binder my sister gave me for Christmas, you know, I think when I was in middle school. And I and the movie was in it. And the rest is history, you know. Yeah, I think it's probably safe to say they're one of my favorite top 5, top 10 bands. I guess I've never thought about it in that context too closely. I don't know. Where are they for you, man? I mean, like, what's weird is it's easy to do an episode on like really theatrical music videos like The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars, which as a band, just, this is no hate on 30 Seconds to Mars, but doesn't mean a ton to us as friends and to like the context of the show. But, you know, we feel like it's good to talk about in, you know, for 2000s emo people that listen. But Motion City means so much to us, but they're kind of a mid-level music video band, which means nothing about their music at all, obviously. But it's kind of tough to find reasons to talk about them. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, Even If It Kills Me is one of my definitely a top 10 of all time. I don't think I listen to it as much as many other albums, but every time that I do, it just like I immediately remember how much joy this album has brought me through my life. I would love to talk about them more, but yeah, I think whether we planned it or not, we do end up talking about mostly music videos and, you know, the songs in relation to them and stuff. And their music videos are just okay.
Well, we did a Commit This to Memory episode a while back, which we should do an I Am the Movie episode as well. We should probably do album episodes more often, but you chew through the catalog pretty quickly. And sometimes the videos do warrant just like, hey, we needed to take a minute with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're one of the best, man. I think one of the most underrated bands from this decade in the genre. Really happy to talk about them anytime we can.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're like the keyboarder does his little jump, and it's like, I feel like they get blown the by. Like, we did Scorchfest 2020, and people were like, the Used is better than MCR, and everyone was like, whoop, spit take, what? But like, yeah, we're just gonna start doing duck stuff. By the way, on the show, it's a new part of the show, new feature. Yeah, it's, but now you think about it, it's just like, well, Paramore and MCR aged well, probably because of hiatuses or whatever. But it got me wondering, like, the Used is really good, and I could see, like, it's kind of like, were you in the Thursday camp or the Taking Back Sunday camp or the Census Fail camp? There's another bubble where you could have been in the Used camp, this and that. Maybe you were a big MCR fan. And I started to think, like, do the theatrics of My Chemical Romance help how they've aged? Because we talked about the 30 Seconds to Mars video last week, where one instance of Jared Leto wearing eye makeup cemented them into the lore of 2000s emo, really almost unjustly. So I'm curious if, like, just the costumes that went into Black Parade helps their legacy a shit ton, where, like, the Used, like, could have marketed themselves a scotch better. And by the time they did that very panicky video for I'll Be Just Fine Pretending I'm Not, like, the name of the song is escaping me. Anyway, all of this is to say that, yeah, I feel like it, like, the Moog Stand stuff isn't like this cutesy one-off, like, oh, they were also a scene man. It's like, no, put some respect on the name. And I don't want to turn this into a gush fest where, like, we don't draft any of the songs and we just talk about, like, they're just, like, really good. But, like, they are just, like, really good. They are right. A powerhouse. We're not a Mount Rushmore pod, but, like, I don't know. We should talk about them a lot more. So whoever tweeted at us, you're the reason that we're doing this, because we should talk about them a lot more. They are very important to the subject matter of the show. And we're just going to take a look at their catalog and do our best here today. Yeah, lay it on me. Sorry, I'm talking over you a little bit. I'm just getting excited. I'm getting warmed up. I'm working myself into a shoot.
Now, we've been talking a little bit about drum parts lately, maybe a little look ahead to the future. And I often talk about, when I do connect with lyrics, it's usually lyrics that are like, some Take It Back Sunday, like My Blue Heaven style stuff. Or I think a lot about the Wonder Years, where he's like, come on, man. It's so informal that it really captures me. I think Justin Courtney Pierre writes some of the most, I don't know, like, intriguing lyrics talking about, home shopping networks and
watching
pans.
Night Court on cable TV and right. Cordon Bleu. And I don't want to say that it's like Weezery or anything, because, like, of course I would. I know it's going to become like a joke on the show just because I'm a Weezer fan or whatever. But, like, there is an element of, like, the specific nature of, like, I don't want to call it, like, I don't think it's like nerdy in the way that Weezer was viewed as nerdy. Like, hey, these nerds are shredding. It's kind of like he did just say Cordon Bleu. He's talking about his anxiety. He's talking about his drugs a lot. There is an element of just, like, there really isn't, like, they fucking rule, but really he just sings about anxiety the whole time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this very interesting, like, they rule so hard, but aren't, like, I would say they're like the spiritual opposite lyrically of, like, Motley Crue, perhaps. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a ton of leather ass cheeks clapping around, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I clean the stove, which is a lot different than just like, girls, girls, girls. You know what I mean? Like, there's something fucking changed in those, like, few decades that separate those songs, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, but, like, they still rule. It's not like, they're not like a novelty act, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think that's all to say that just, like, justice for Motion City Forever. They are just a delight. And you can't help but be anything but very thankful that they gave us some of the records. I'm not going to put a number on it because Tom and I like different ones, but I want to get into it. Should we roll the dice? If you're just joining us, this is a draft. We roll just some pretty plain dice that Tom doesn't care about a lot to decide who goes first. They're just pretty shitty dice. There's nothing special about them, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to spend some time on the drums and the lyrics. We'll do that as we get more into the songs. But rather than dice, let me know. Would you rather have me roll the dice or guess a number that's related to something in my room?
I need the dice. I was downplaying it because the dice have become a part of the drafts. They're laser cut, motherfucker!
Okay, we'll do the dice.
No.
Evens or
Fooled
odds?
ya. They're very meaningful dice to Tom. He loves those fucking things.
Only because it's now a part of the show. They meant nothing to me before.
Well, hey, that's the magic of television.
Okay. Evens or odds?
Evens.
All right.
For even if it kills me, I'll pick evens.
Got a 1 and a 4.
Damn it.
Okay. This is hard because I'm not sure what overlap we'll have, but I feel like if you take, I'm gonna risk it and go 2 and 3.
The future freaks me out.
Okay, I was probably gonna give that one to you anyway, but it's
were you? Were you just gonna give that one to me, Tom? You're like, you know what? I don't even give a shit. I lie. Yeah. Spare me. The future freaks me out. Consensus, number 1 pick.
yeah.
Very meaningful. I don't know. It's the first song that was like mine. It's I love this band so much. I told the anecdote about meeting that high schooler who was really nice to me. I don't know. I'm not going to tell the same story 3 times in the same month and twice in the same episode, but it just rules. It's dancey. It's fun. We've drafted it a million times.
Yeah.
In all our various playlists. And I just like, if you looked at my, I've mentioned before my old iTunes playlist before the Gateway 95 RIP shut down in our household, like, and that cursed ski-free monster couldn't haunt my dreams anymore. But also shout out to Chips Challenge, pour some out for the homie. No, but Island in the Sun by Weezer, Miss You by Blink-182 were like consensus 1, 2 most played. But The Future Freaks Me Out was firmly there and should get talked about more. Just, I don't know, it means a lot. Beta won't stop listening to modern rock, Chase. I don't know. It's like a self-empowerment anthem as well as like still emo at the same time. I don't know. There's here's a quick question. Is it as dancey as pop punk? Well, no, that's not true. There's, metro stations shake it and shit like that. So I don't want to just go, I'm just too high on Motion City at the moment. I'm gonna start saying shit that's just factually incorrect. So anyway, it rules. It's the best. I love it. Of course, it's the number 1 pick. I feel like we just got to breeze through these first few so that the more interesting picks will come later. Like, what more can you say? It's fucking. I tweeted at Justin Courtney Pierre, like, early college, and he responded. He's like, "Don't worry." I just tweeted the lyrics, and he just found them and was like, "Don't worry about it, man. You'll be all right." I was like, I don't know. I love him so much. He was like active on social media. I saw them with Weezer at the Ohio State Fair. That was like the best day of my life because state fairs are like tasty with bad food. And Weezer was doing that tour where they were covering MGMT and Lady Gaga and stuff. And Rivers was losing his fucking mind, jumping on trampolines and shit. Anyway, Motion City opened that show and just ripped it up. They were just delivered. And I don't know, just soul nourishing for sure. Future Freaks Me Out is soul nourishing. And it's firmly, firmly, firmly in my top 10 favorite songs of all time. And I feel very, 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 very comfortable saying that.
It's such a killer song. I remember thinking like, I guess it would have been you that introduced me to it around 8th grade because it's a very 8th grade song for me. I remember feeling like this is like, I'm onto some new shit here. Like, this is not like stuff I've listened to before. It almost felt like this is... I don't know. Eighth grade me was like, this is a cool fucking song, dude.
It
like,
is. I don't know how to say it. Like,
I don't know.
You see a picture of the band, his hair's crazy, but he's got the glasses.
Yeah.
He's just like, it's like, I'm on fire and now I think I'm ready to bust. I don't know. Yeah. Like, there's something about it that in the tight tee and jeans era, it was just fucking cool, man. Like, without being anything in any other direction, it was just, like, there's nothing else to say other than just like, sometimes we almost make like we talked about The Kill last week. It's just recency bias, but we got hung up on the eyeshadow or whatever. It's just like, what can you say about The Future Freaks Me Out other than that it rules? It's so cool. Like, I don't think Motion City has gotten cooler than that. Like what I would argue would be the best song on one of their earliest albums or whatever. It's just fundamentally everything about it makes total sense, which we come across songs for different decades. We talk on the show a lot about like hits are hits and it's just a good song. It just is great. It doesn't matter that it came from like a Minnesota emo band or whatever in the 2000s. It's just fantastic. You should pick. Like, we should stop this. But like, I just really like it.
Okay, so I talk about.
But it's a good point, Tom. It's so fucking cool. It's just the coolest. And when you're in 7th grade, you're like, oh, I want to be everything that this stands for. You know, and it's just a coolness that I didn't know existed. And this opens up everything.
Yeah.
It was just this magic moment. You know, it's just tremendous. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think the drummer of this band is probably also one of the most underrated drummers that there are.
Yes. Preach.
Dude,
Sure.
The subtleties of what he does are so interesting. There's a song I want to pick that has this tiny little thing that just drives me wild. But the drums in Broken Heart are so outstanding without being like overly techy and complicated. And then the guitar part is really fun as well. It's something that like I try to relearn every 2 years just because it's a really interesting melody in the guitar part itself. The melody of the vocals are great. The chorus is so good.
Is this your pick?
Yeah. Number 1, Broken Heart.
The Even If It Kills Me Boy.
Dude.
Strikes for the first time today. Maybe not the last. ... You love that album. I didn't think you
Dude.
were. Interesting. Talk to me.
Seriously,
You love the cleaner later records. I mean, it's very on brand for you, but I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah. So I did catch the end of one of their performances. It would have been 2015, maybe, because they were touring with the Wonder Years. And I think by this point I had forgotten how much I absolutely fucking love this band. So I think like one of us was working, but we ended up driving to Baltimore, getting there really late, kind of right before the Wonder Year started. And we walked in at the end of my, oh my God, dude. The end of Motion City soundtrack.
It doesn't even make sense other than too many 3-word bands. And we're in our early 30s now, guys. It's over. These 3-word bands are going to our lives up forever, man.
We got there at the end of their second to last song, and then they played The Future Freaks Me Out, and I was like, we should have gotten here 45 minutes ago. Like how, but like they had a new album that I don't know.
I love being at shows and like the band does something that makes you want to do something vocal to like embrace it. And you know, people whistle, they cheer, and I've always been so awkward to be like, how do I lose my sense of self for a moment and just orally convey my, you know, my joy and end up just spurting out something stupid like, all right. But just like, it's not sarcastic. It's just like, yeah, you know, like, woo, you know, just like, yeah. I don't know, like you're so rarely in day-to-day life, like moved to react in that way. But when you're finally at a concert, especially because we're so out of practice, it's like, all right. Woo! You know, like, go get them, fellas. I love this shit. Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely something that does not come natural to me, but I'm envious of what you're describing here. Interesting pick. And you have another one coming, which is all the more dangerous because you could flex a little bit and pick something you like first and still manage to scoop up some value here.
Yeah. Broken Heart is one of my favorites. And
there's like a little bit of like doom that you like because, you know, you've joked on the show before about you want something that makes you want to jump off a cliff. You know, I'll f it up so that it never beats again type stuff. I mean, it gets pretty low for how poppy this record really feels.
Yeah,
you know, lyrically, this record is not in a great headspace, I think. I don't know. It's weird when your heroes are like sorting through their stuff and you know, you're glad they end up kind of on the other end of things, which is something that makes the Jimmy Eat World podcast, you know, interesting. You know, they reference sobriety and stuff like that. But yeah, for how open and honest and hard on his sleeve JCP is throughout the catalog, this record especially, it's just kind of like, again, it's so clean at times, somewhat poppy and everything like that. But definitely some Wolf. You know, I can see why. Like knowing you and what songs you tend to pick in these drafts and everything. Like it doesn't surprise me because like there's an underlying thread of darkness on that album. I feel like.
Well, let's bring it back out and give me This Is For Real.
Wow. Who are you, man?
It's just, I don't know, dude. It's so poppy. It gets me going. I've got emotion dripping out my pores. Like, is there a better lyric? You know?
Do you ever, when you hear some lines that are not over the top, but a little like, do you picture our buddy Zach, and when we were in a garage band, writing thoughts. Like at some point, this was just a early 20, late teens, somebody writing basically exclamations onto a notepad. You know what I mean? Just like, I've got emotion coming out my fucking pores, man. Damn. You know, just sometimes I picture Zach scribbling in his little basement with his little lamp, just kind of like alone with his poetry. I don't know if you've ever had that same like thought process, but sometimes I picture our high school bandmate, the front man. I don't know, just these dudes that were just like kind of there with their thoughts with a pen. Those are the lines that make me think of that sort of thing.
I had something come up a couple weeks ago that led me into like an old email account where I found an email I sent to my sophomore year college professor, which was a creative writing and poetry class. And I found dozens of pages of my poetry that like, yeah, it was interesting to rediscover 19, 20-year-old me alone with my poetry. And I definitely had emotion dripping out my pores, dude. Like it was nuts. But I mean, this whole song is so good. The subtleties of the drums that I like, if you listen in the verses, there's like a little hi-hat thing that's just like kind of chugging away. And then it does this little offbeat. It's so nice. Just like, ooh, little snap, little pep in there.
Whenever we do the drum draft, I think Adrian on Twitter was just like, you better pick XYZ Motion City song. I think it's safe to assume that Tom has already done some prep for the drum draft whenever we do it.
Yeah.
And that there will be a Motion City song picked.
But like the last chorus, outro, whatever, just the constant, this is the best thing I've ever had for real. You get a little synth in there. And this was like a Hannah band. And this was me getting out of this like 5-year relationship where I never really liked the girl like too much for the back 4.5 years. And it was like there were things about like depression and anxiety and like new love kind of stuff. And
but the highs were high, the lows were low. But
that's just being a teen, though. Like,
well, no, I guess I'm speaking more just like the catalog of Motion City. Like,
yeah.
There are more than just them that are able to do that, I guess. But like, I don't know. For as low as the lows are, like they had an ability to, this is the best thing that I've ever had for real, and turn it into just like super palatable pop. Not just palatable, just fantastic to listen to. Yeah, palatable is underselling it, but yeah, just hard on your sleeve stuff. That wasn't all just bone crushingly like My Favorite Accident, living down on that like totally forlorn shit. But
yeah, interesting.
So 2 off the same album right off the bat. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't think there's any stopping that train either. But it's your 2 picks. But yeah, these are like 2 of my absolute favorites.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pick My Favorite Accident second. Oh man, there was a playlist, I'm sure, with this and Great Romances of the 20th Century by Taking Back Sunday, thinking about a very specific girl in high school that I never was romantically involved with, but was thinking about that. You know what I mean? Kind of. The playlist might have been just those 2 songs on repeat, truth be told. Just before the driver's license was available, just going down to the park and shooting hoops and just living in that little piano riff at the beginning. Like not even really being old enough to relate with that heartache yet, but just like, I don't know, we reference this meme a lot on the show where there's a kid laying in the rain and it's just like, thinking about a breakup you're about to have 10 years from now, being super sad about it right now, listening to like the Titanic soundtrack in like the late 90s or whatever, just like being real emotional about it. But just like not fantasizing about it, but just being like, I get that, even though you fucking way don't yet, but just living in it. And this thing about the way the song opens up, with like, you rarely get the clean piano. It's mostly the synthy stuff. They're known for like the synthy Moog stand, blah, blah, blah. But like it opens up with that clean piano and it's real slow and takes its time for good reason. And I don't know, it's a pretty, again, these are just hit songs, right? Like they said, we were an accident, you'll always be my favorite one. It's just like a nice idea. And it's just the song, it helps that the song rips and everything and that it's Motion City doing what they do best. But like if it was stripped down or whatever, like it's a pretty simple, relatable idea. So of course, tons of people loved it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Overshadowed, I guess, by The Future Freaks Me Out. Maybe not though. Over time, it's just kind of like, I guess, I don't know, would this have been picked first? And how many simulations of this? Probably not. Maybe, I don't know. But like, just for the sake of this discussion point of view, you know, like going down this road, I'll pick Everything Is All Right next as...
You motherfucker.
You left it on the table. You picked two of the weirdest first two picks. Well, like you like them, so it's not wrong. Like, it's all subjective, but I'm surprised that I was able to get these three. But I'm not sure which of those two is more important to me because I've probably listened to them both about the same amount of times, but they both serve very different purposes. And just because you're not like thinking about that high school crush anymore, I don't know. Do you get to the point where songs like My Favorite Accident or like an entire Blank album hits just fundamentally different and you still enjoy it for what it is, but you're not like where you were the day you discovered it? Or you're not where you were the day you were on the basketball court just shooting hoops, listening to that song on repeat for like an hour and a half? We talk about this sometimes on the show a little bit, but like I would say like my Saturday morning pancake mix is probably a little safer for like everyone in the room to have Everything Is All Right on there instead of My Favorite Accident. Like depending on the company, you know what I mean? Like my wife is way more street cred emo person than I am, but like if, you know, the grandparents are over or whatever. But yeah, you know, I don't know which, over time, one ends up on more playlists than the other, I guess, depending on who you ask, depending on what the activity is, whether it's a biking playlist or a pancake playlist or whatever, which straight up, we should do a pancake playlist episode. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on just like aging out of the headspaces and what that means for certain songs that meant just so monumentally a lot to you?
I think that's what's really interesting about doing the show is, you know, all these songs bring me back to exactly how I felt when I was listening to it the most.
It's messed up, man, because it's just like, you know, you and I, we're a dad podcast now. Everyone's talking about it. And just kidding, no one's talking about it, but, you know, that's both where we're at in our lives. And I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that you don't need My Favorite Accident, but it was a tool of sorts at the time to like cope with whatever.
Yeah.
Body changes, school, whatever it was for whoever was listening, basically. But it was almost as equally as much as a tool as it was like a work of art almost. But what do you do when those problems are, I don't know, especially if they take you so specifically back there and you like don't want to be there. You know, there are some songs that like I avoid. Like, I don't need that shit on like a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, I just, sometimes shuffle will just come around and just, you know, blindside me. And it's just like, wait a minute. No, not today. Not right now. You know, it's just too heavy. It's almost too much almost. Which is to say that I wish, I don't know. I love My Favorite Accident a lot, but it's not that I don't need it anymore. It's just like, I don't know if I can listen to it as much as I used to. It just, it carries a weight and I don't know how to feel about that. It's not the only song I feel that way about. Now there are songs that I hate because of how like How It's Gonna Be by Third Eye Blind, for example. I can't do that shit. Long December, Counting Crows. No, thank you. Just cause like, ow. My Favorite Accident isn't necessarily ow, but there are such specific memories tied to it that it's just kind of like,
yeah.
You know, you're just like with your family in the car and then you like stare off into like the fucking mountains for like 4.5 minutes or whatever. And it's just like, hey, you know, are you even watching the road? It's just like, I couldn't say. But
right.
I don't know. What do you do? What do you do with those types of songs? It's hard to say. It's like, it's like, oh, damn, shuffle. It's like, I'm only half a cup of coffee in on it. I haven't even had my coffee yet. That's the worst. Anyway, I'm passing the ball back to you. It's over. And there's not much I'm going to squeeze out of that line of thought anymore. But I don't know. It kind of sucks. But like, I guess this is growing up. Whatever. Blink-182. Well, but you know, it's just kind of, it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
Hey everyone, let me break in real quick to thank our Patreon supporters. This is our Council of Elders, our top tier Patreon supporters. In this group, we have Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, Nathan Eshelman, and Drew Edwards. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. Thank you to everyone in the Patreon who gives to the show financially so that we can continue to do really fun, super secret projects that are finally reaching their end. All the Patreon supporters will be the first to hear about it. If you'd like to check it out, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent to get weekly post shows, behind the scenes videos and photos, monthly video AMAs, all kinds of stuff going on in there. But thank you to everyone for listening, and back to the show. Let me say that I'm reading, I was trying to find something and I found a quote from a reviewer of Even If It Kills Me, Andy Greenwald of Blender, rated the album 3 out of 5, saying, quote, "Every generation needs a Weezer, and Motion City Soundtrack is the Weezer of emo."
You know, that's really interesting because his book is one of the ones that we really love here at the show. It's one of the first books about emo, I think. Nothing Feels Good. It's really interesting. He, I think, works for The Ringer now, or maybe he's moved on to be more of a screenwriter, television writer. But yeah, it's an interesting take for sure. And it explains why I enjoy his writing as well. Just because, like, yeah, you know, I'm probably just subconsciously regurgitating his shit anyway all the time on the show.
All right. Well,
oftentimes not so subconsciously, but
I'll go then and
Andy
give
Greenwald,
me...
come on the show and do it for us for the rest of its existence.
You do it better. So, all right. Give me the title track.
Also, real quick. Sorry. Real quick. Shout out to Patrick Stump and JCP's friendship, Warped Tour friendship that probably resulted in them just being on the same track for Everything Is All Right. Obviously, a very good song where he references very specific, lyrically, quick shout out to his very specific, like cleaning the oven and checking my tires shit. That's when I think they're having the most fun, both as a listener and a band. It's hard to not enjoy that stuff.
Counting the number of tiles on the ceiling. Like, yeah, Head for the Hills kitchen. Oh, dude, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, my dad would be in the car and just be like, this guy's pretty interesting. Just like super dad comment, but just kind of like, which is like code for just like, how unhinged are the artists you're engaging with?
Right.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
All good. Give me the title track off of Even If It Kills Me, which, by the way, I forgot that record was produced in part by Adam Schlesinger.
Are you going to pick the album?
Yes. So shut up.
You wanted to go set. I got to say, there are going to be people who follow us on Twitter who will, agree. And there will be, if I had to guess, some who don't. But I'm loving the effort so far. Now I'm very curious. I just want to stay tuned to see if you stray from that.
Now I feel like I can't.
Stray from the album at all. Interesting. Okay, talk to me. What's on your mind?
Even If It Kills Me, again, this was like, this was a Hannah album. It got me through some tough stuff, but then eventually she went away to college and I was left alone in Erie with this album. So there's like, this album has been with me through a lot of different stuff in a very short amount of time. So there's like so much built into this record, and there are a couple bands and songs and albums like A Lesson in Romantics or that album from Inhale Exhale, Some Under Oath, that reminds me of winter driving back from the Edinburgh Hangout, which was, again, it was this incredible music venue that was like 15 miles south of where we lived. Or, I don't know. It was a half an hour, which felt like an eternity when you're, 17. But like, I lived to go to the Edinburgh Hangout. It was where I felt the most like myself, and it was like maybe twice a month I got to go. And Even If It Kills Me reminds me of like coming down from the high of being with these people that I loved, that I saw so rarely, being in an environment where I completely felt safe to be myself. And I'm coming down off that high, realizing I have to go back home to a place where I feel like I can't be myself. And there's a lot in these lyrics that kind of bring me back to like, turning right on Kearsarge to take a left onto Peach Street, which was like my exit, to get back home. And I just think there's a lot that puts me there. And the songs that I look back on most fondly remind me of...
Which means you were kind of close to the hangout, truth be told.
It wasn't too terribly far. I could get there in under a half an hour.
Yeah. Whereas like if you were at your childhood home in Westyville, you were on the east side of Erie and had to basically travel to
50.
Wyoming to get there.
Right. But there's like, I don't know, man. There's just a lot. I just want to get back. I so want to get back on track, and I'll do whatever it takes, even if it kills me. It kind of has like a slow start into it. It was like an unwinding, but also an unwinding into something that I wasn't very welcoming. And I knew that at some point I had to like be constantly in a place where I feel like I could be myself. And like the even if it kills me part is really what drove that home for me. So like, and it's how the album ends. Like it's just so powerful. This song fucks me up for sure. But yeah, I just love it.
Which, honestly, we haven't done the reminiscent drinking game in a while, but I think Tom saying this song fucks me up for sure is definitely worthy of the drinking game because it's not going to be the last time it gets said for sure. So,
well, let's bring it up a little bit. Give me the first song not on Even If It Kills Me, Make Out Kids.
No!
Off of Commit This to Memory.
I thought I was going to be able to just fucking shake you down all night. Damn, good pick. Damn, good pick. Yeah, that's like, I think we're in tier B at this point. Maybe. Don't get mad, get glad or whatever. But just tremendous, right? I'll let you talk. I'm stealing your thunder.
No, I love it. I mean, it was Hannah's favorite song. And
it's such a good yearning song,
Yes. If we keep swimming, maybe this will never die. Like there was also, again, that first summer with Hannah was like, to me, it was like first love kind of thing. And I knew she was going to college. But like, if we can just keep this up, maybe, like this feeling now, if we can try to recreate this long distance over Skype or the phone or whatever, maybe we'll kind of keep it going.
Damn, I never really thought about it from that angle. I always thought about it from the angle of never had a chance to be best friends, where it's just like, man, one car ride, one, evening out, like you never had that one chance to be best friends. Like it could have happened so easily and your mind wanders this and that when you're younger and you're like, what if,
right.
What if I grow up this and there, everyone's going to, you're just like, I always clung to that part of the song because it was just like, but I think yours is more beautiful because,
I don't know if it fits the song at all, but that's what it makes me think of anyway. Lights out, we're covered in each other's warm embrace, like flown in, sleepover, winter break. I mean, this was going away to college or coming back from college material.
It's a great crush song. It's a great yearning song, great crush song. But if we keep swimming, maybe this will never die is like a whole other, that shit contains multitudes, man. I'm not even saying that ironically. It just does. I never even like visited that song with that passage in mind. I had always thought about that Never Had a Chance part. It was just like, it could have happened so easily because when you're a teen, you can't drive half the time. So you're just like randomly ending up in place and you're like, who's here at this picnic with my family? It's like, oh, someone I happen to go to school with. And that could like determine the next 4 months of your life. You know what I mean? Like
totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, man, how many 6 degrees of separation or, how many universes was I X, Y, or Z? Never had that chance. And, that to me, that's what that encapsulated. But if we kept swimming, this will never die part was equally heavy, if not more. It's interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah. All right. Well, give me your 4 and 5. That was my 3 and 4.
Damn, that's a nice pick. Well, I'm going to come right back at you,
right?
Son of a bitch, and pick Last Night.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a sad song, man. I think like, I think it delivers just as much, if not more, of what Hold Me Down delivers. I think Even If It Kills Me, it might get slept on a touch. I know not by you personally, but maybe by me personally. Maybe I'm just saying this to myself, but there are some devastating moments on that album. And Last Night is just a really concise gut punch, maybe the most concise gut punch of any of the gut punches we talk about on the show. It's just like a well-packaged you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dude.
It's soft but devastating. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
It's just perfect. There's not a wasted breath in the whole damn thing. And it just kills me, man. It just guts me like a fucking fish, Tom.
Can I tell you my favorite line?
Yeah.
So there's a thing about her cat clawing the floorboards and stuff, and like the panic begins. But I love I searched the whole damn apartment from ceiling to carpet, no sign of the things she used to own. Dude, again, I was 17. I had never lived with a woman before, but it was like, someday someone might leave me and my home will no longer feel like my home. It's this thing that used to be our home and it's now something different that I don't recognize. And that fucked me up.
Yeah, it's like not all songs like that do that, right? Like Sun in an Empty Room, Weaker Thans, it's like palatable years later. Like it's just good songwriting, the Weaker Thans fucking rule. But I reference this on the show a lot, that Third Eye Blind, How's It Gonna Be? Last Night is almost closer to that on that scale of like palatability years later, even after the shit's been over. But there's something about that soft little guitar at the beginning where it's just like a shudder rolls down your spine. You're just like, fuck. I don't know. The lows are low. Again, the highs are very high. Future freaks me out, et cetera, et cetera. But the lows are just brutal, man. I don't know if in his bag would be the correct way to phrase it, so I'm not going to try to phrase it that way. But when he's doing that, whether it's Hold Me Down, whether it's Last Night, whether it's just snippets of other songs, like you mentioned the If We Keep Swimming part of Make Out Kids, it's just like taking, you know how like, I mentioned gutting a fish. It's just like you're gutting yourself. It's just like, well, you just unbutton your shirt and just like remove your own entrails so you can, salt and pepper and a little squeeze of lemon on yourself so you can have a nice little salad on the side, maybe during the summer dinner or something at a grill. But yeah, it's just like, well, me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yes, that's what Last Night. And I'll just pick Hold Me Down next, since we're living in this headspace.
God, dude.
Yes. Well, welcome to a band that you always say you listen to stuff that makes you want to jump off a cliff or whatever. In jest, somewhat, hopefully, obviously, maybe
some days,
at least a little, right? But more often than not, Motion City's catching me. Now I'm realizing it now as we like really break down the songs and stuff. It's that's it's not always, hey, the future freaks me out. Hey, I'm on fire and I'm kicking let's cut some rug. That's a small percentage of the vibe, I guess. Now I'm realizing, or at least what I am pulling off out of these albums and what's stuck in my head and everything. But yeah, those two do a similar job. I think Last Night's a little more concise and like cleaner and like more, I don't know. Does it in a less sloppy way, but like there's something like pretty fucking raw about finding a note on your fridge, and the rest is history. I don't know. You laugh, but like, man, I don't even. Yeah. I'll send it back to you. There's not much left, and that's all there is to say about that.
Yeah,
because You Hold Me Down. It's just like goodbye, and you're bad for me. Like, oh
yeah.
Oh God,
devastating. Yeah,
right. And again, couldn't relate to shit any of this, but just shooting hoops, just like, man, just like pouring out for. Anyway,
yeah. All right. Those are two good ones. Give me When You're Around off of Commit This to Memory. This was
bring back the Michael Barbaro.
This was one of my favorites ever. And again, I was not the victim in this 5-year relationship that I wanted to get out of. We both should have just said bye and called it a day, but we were young and dumb and didn't know what to do. When I finally broke up with that girl, immediately we were dating. Hannah and I were dating. And all of a sudden the other girl was like trying, like she would just show up at my house, like literally inside my house, because no one in Erie locked their doors ever.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't talk about that more on the show, but it's just true.
I didn't own a key to my house. Like we'd go on vacation and not lock that thing.
Yeah, I'd come home from college and we would have been out at a Plymouth or whatever, and I'd be like, oh man, are my parents asleep? And then I would just like, the door would be open as I like, how like in movies you check to see if it's like, oh, it is locked. But every time you're just in the house, the next thing you know, you're like, oh, that worked out.
So anyway, this girl just like wouldn't kind of let it go, even though we agreed to like separate. And I was like already head over heels in love with someone else.
That's sad. That had to have been tough.
Yeah. But anyway, me being an 18-year-old dickhead that didn't care about anyone other than myself really resonated with the line, no, I can't fucking stand it when you're around. And actually, now that I say that, I think I do remember catching them at Warped Tour. I mean, I only went 2007 or 8. And I kind of like didn't know they were playing, and I heard this song from the distance, and I ran over the stage and basically caught them like at the very end to scream the end of this song. I really, really, really loved this track, even if It Kills Me is my preferred album, this is one of the best tracks in their entire discography. And it really was like, these two albums contain every emotion I needed to portray, but couldn't vocalize as a child. I think I'm realizing this was a good one.
Damn, this is going to be tough. Is this your 7?
This is my 6th. Wait.
Okay.
Yes. Wait.
Because I picked my 7th next. No, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm only 5 deep. I have 2 coming up next.
Okay. Okay. So I really found this next song. I'm a sucker for a good love song, and I really love Antonia. So it's all about like the perfect woman. She makes, and it's like, again, those crazy specific. She shaves her legs with Jinsu knives, which I just Googled, and it's like one of those sets you can buy in a block for like $60. Like pieces of shit. But the line that I loved is, she's the pizza of my eye. Without her near me, I would not survive. And it's so beautiful. It gets cold when she's not around. I float until I sink and I'm swallowed up. And then again, I wait for her to come home and tell me I'll be fine. And that's like, she's away at college. She'll come home and everything will be fine. But I loved the line about like the baby at the end. Like the line, and when the little lady grows up, I hope that she'll be just like her mother. And like, to me, that's like, again, we just had a child. It's all this, like, I was just telling Pat, like, in between recordings, that I'm thinking a lot about my own childhood and things that I would like to be different, or things that I might like for him to experience because I enjoyed them. And I think it says a lot for like, this is a new opportunity. This child can literally grow up to be anyone or anything. And to say you love your wife so much that with a completely fresh start, you would like that child to be just like this person that you're with. To me, that's fucking deep, man. And like, I think I see it obviously a little differently now than I did when I was 17, but I still felt it even then. Like, that kid could be anyone, and you want it to be just like your wife. That's how perfect she is in your eyes. She's the pizza of your eye. I love it, dude. This song fucking rips me. I love it so much.
Well, then I'm glad you picked it.
Thanks, man.
I've never heard you talk about that song before. Isn't it? I'm glad we can. I feel like we're married, you and I, on the show, but I'm glad we can still learn things about each other this many years in.
Right? Yeah, I like that one a lot, man. I just, all the specifics, like,
and those ones are, when they're doing their thing, we talked about it, I think, months ago when we talked about Fall Out Boy's This Ain't a Scene video, where they're in a studio with a bunch of, rap producers or whatever, and they're questioning these white boys from Chicago until they start doing their spinny, like doing what they do. And everyone's just like, throughout the music video history, whenever they start to spin and shit, the crowd generally, whatever. Anyway, it's just them just like, hey, we're just dudes doing what we do best. Yeah, I think when Motion City is doing what they do best, which is just like those crazy specific lyrics, dragging you through the mud with poppy glory. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, there's nothing better, man. Truly.
Yeah. God, this might be one of my top 5 bands of all time. Like, every time I talk about them, I realize how incredible they are. And I don't know how I forget.
Yeah. If people are like, hey, this is a recent buy, it's like, I don't care. I love this song. I love this band. Okay. I get 2 more picks, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me capital H.
Okay.
Just to pick it up a little bit. My mixtape was getting a little blue. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back in the ballroom swinging. Pretty fun, right? I mean, you talk about the lows being low, but the highs are equally fun. Moog stands, people hopping around. Just like, it's a fun show. Roller coasters being ridden. the evil Dr. Rocket Science monster with capabilities to destroy the entire universe. Yeah. I don't know. Just fun. Yeah, like him, like it's one thing to be very specific with Cordon Bleu and shit. It's another thing to be like evil Dr. Science Rossman, evil Dr. Rocket Science monster. Just really flying off the fucking handle. And it's just like delightful to me. And it's also a really fun power pop chorus, I guess you would say. I don't know what you would say, but
hey man, Adam Schlesinger was involved with this band, so king of power pop.
There you go. I don't know. There's a momentum involved with this chorus that's just kind of infectious, so I love it a lot. And just to please the Twitter user who asked us to talk about Eye in the Movie a little bit more, I'm going to go with modern chemistry. I believe in medication. I believe in therapy. I don't know. It's kind of my first introduction to like Justin Courtney Pierre's journey with like therapy and medication and things like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really even I was so young when I first started listening to the band that those concepts I didn't even really know what the lyrics meant at the time. I just know it's a super pretty song. But then you start to like piece the catalog together and like take that journey with him a little bit, and that's one of the first chapters that's so on the nose specific with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the anxiety is framed differently in Everything Is All Right than it is in Modern Chemistry and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful song, and it's interesting how much of the catalog feels like a journal without being too like preachy or like, I don't know. People always credit the Hold Steady and shit for being so like, there's a through line, but people don't really give Motion City that credit, and I'm not sure why, because if nothing else, Justin Courtney Pierre's journey with sobriety and substance abuse and everything like that and anxiety is a big through line, and you see him grow. You kind of grow up with him a little bit in that sense, and I don't know why they don't get more credit for having just, I don't know, an identity like that. When like, I don't know, I feel like it's, you go to college and it's like, oh, the Hold Steady, man, Craig Finn. And he is a talented guy, of course, love that band. But I don't know. I feel like they get thrown away as like the Mook Stand band, and that's fucking just unfair. So with my last pick, I just would like to state that like that's bullshit, and Motion City fucking is the best. They're not just like some emo, like, oh yeah, remember them thing? It's just like an important band to me and us. And I don't know, it's like the Mook Stands are awesome, but, and he does sing funny and weird sometimes, and every generation needs their Weezer LOL, but like, these songs are great and deep and heavy, and the ups, the highs are high and the lows are low, and it's just like it's more than just like a third line on the eventual Riot Fest lineup they play or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna get done dirty in the annals of time or whatever the you would want to say. But and it's not gonna be right. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I like them a lot. That's all. And we should talk about them more in the show. I'm more mad at us, I guess, but just like also mad at all of you,
Right.
weirdly, even though, whatever. That's kind of my spiel that I don't have much to add to this particular episode, but yeah, give them some fucking credit. God damn it.
Yeah. All right, for my last pick, let's go back to Even If It Kills Me and give me Where I Belong.
Wow.
What?
No, I'll wait till the honorable mentions.
Because
the two I would have picked off that record aren't even interfering with where you wanted to go on that record, which speaks to something.
I don't know, man. I mean, again, this is really fun drums. The vocal melodies are a lot of fun, but the second verse is incredible to me. Let me just read the entire second verse because it's incredible. It's chaos in the courthouse and the left side's all upset because the right side wants a summer home and knows we can't afford it, which already is like, I don't know what it is, but I'm here for it. I try to mediate between this constant tug of war machine, but wind up in a never-ending game of telephone, which is, again, great. There's so much going on, and I need just 7 minutes to calm myself back down. Now I forgot where I was. Was it me we were talking about? This is what I feared from the start. I keep falling apart. It's just like, I love the whole like kind of prose poetry nature of this, which is why I loved a lot of early Wonder Years, shit from the 7-inch, right? Quote unquote. Army of Self-Righteous Kids. In the drums, dude, the little rim clicks and the little tom hits here and there. This song, it's like, I don't know, it reminds me of like you're on a dance floor and it's getting a little stale, and like someone else comes up, is like, yo, I know what to spin to get this shit moving again. And then like it comes in with that little drum beat and everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember dance. It's fun. And then it gets into it. I don't know, man. It really makes me, I was washing the dishes earlier today. Not a euphemism like our friend from 8th grade got at detention.
That's a deep cut there. Yeah, golly.
And I was just kind of bopping along. I hate doing the dishes.
That'll be our post show. We'll talk about some 8th grade incidents.
Sure. Okay. But I was like, I hate washing the dishes, but this song got me through it. Just a little bopping along, getting a little suds going, just shoulders moving. It's a killer song, man. I love it so much.
Lord knows Tom can get his shoulders moving. He's not around with you guys. It's real.
I'm all shoulders.
This is for real. This time he means it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the draft there, man.
Nice. I feel pretty. That's a killer soundtrack, man. That's gonna be a fun playlist to listen
my
to.
first one off the board might be "Can't Finish What You Started."
For the honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I like it a lot. I'm surprised because that one and Last Night are my favorite off the album you like so much, but you don't like those ones, which is interesting to me.
I like them. I can only pick a couple.
Right. Sure.
Give me Perfect Teeth off of I Am the Movie. Great melody, fun guitar part. Love it.
Yeah. Better Open the Door for me. Another high, very fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Liz likes to liquor up my thoughts. I don't know. It's just fun. I just really like it.
We went way too long without mentioning LG Fuad.
No, our big fuck up. Yeah, flame us, Twitter. Get after us. That was a big oversight on our part.
So good.
Yeah, I'm out. I put together my dream list that didn't have LG on it. So, but yeah, I mean, you could pick any song in the whole fucking catalog, Ted.
Oh God.
Wow, Tom's got the hiccup. So I'm going to give my song of the week because I already went on my little monologue about Motion City deserving more respect. Give me Sexting by Bo Burnham. This is the last Bo Burnham song I'll pick.
Oh my God.
I promise. It's been 3 full weeks, but it's good. He wrote some catchy shit from his special Inside. It's not sex, it's the next best thing.
Purenoise Records came out with a lo-fi album, and the opening song is The Story So Far is Clairvoyant as lo-fi hip-hop, and it is something I didn't know I've needed my whole life. I can't stop listening to it. I don't think the whole record is flawless, but Clairvoyant is a song that was meant to be reproduced as lo-fi hip-hop, so that's a lot of fun. And I'll link the whole Purenoise Records in there for anyone that wants to listen to. It's worth listening to once or twice.
For sure.
Okay, well, this is getting me more stoked to see you in January.
It's going to be fun.
Even
though we both kind of identified ourselves as I Am the Movie and Even If It Kills Me fans, it's hard to go wrong with... I don't know. Yeah, they're going to do Feels Like Rain and Make Out Kids, and it's just going to kill me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just so good. It's going to be such a delight.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking
forward to it. Because I do think it's like, I don't know, I think it's like, I always try to make, is that just like their hands down their best record? Like, everything's subjective, so no, but like kind of, like it's kind of the Motion City record, I guess. But because it's so good front to back, but also like, I don't know, so many fond memories for each of us with different records. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun one. I think I need to spend more time with I Am the Movie. I just didn't have a lot with it.
I need to spend more time with Even If It Kills Me. This is a pretty, let's just put the swords away for a little while, guys. Also, I just realized, unrelated, I think I might have Poison Ivy again for the second time in 3 weeks. I know. No fun. Anyway,
bummer.
That has nothing to do with Motion City Soundtrack. So it's time to go to the post show where we're going to talk about washing the dishes. Love you, everybody. Love you, Tom.
Love you, man. See ya. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode. I think what we really learn every time we talk about Motion City Soundtrack is that they're one of our favorite bands of all time. Please hit us up on Twitter. That is the best part of doing the show, is hearing from you. Let us know what songs would make it into your Motion City Soundtrack draft. And while you're at it, let us know which album is better, Commit This to Memory, or Even If It Kills Me. Or if you're a real emo elder, let us know why I Am the Movie is actually the best. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Love you all. Bye, everyone.